Welcome to the mat, y'all. We're doing a 20-minute sculpt session. Heavy weights are needed. I have 15-pound dumbbells here, optional ankle weights. Let's get started. Feet are a bit further than hip width apart. You're starting with the shoulder roll, relaxing, getting settled into your time on the mat. Wiggle out the hips, bringing your arms out wide, rotating the wrist, adding mobility here. Hands go up, stretch down deep into the mat, bend at the elbows, bend at the knees. Warming up the joints to get started. One hand goes to the ankle, opposite hand follows. Slowly come into that warmness as you bring your hands back out wide. Opposite hand, opposite ankle, bringing the hand down and stretch. Keeping roundness in the spine the entire way through. Wiggle out the hips. Alright, y'all, let's get started. Moving into your squats. You're bending at the knees, hinging at the hips, getting that heavy weight in both heels, activating the heart rate. Moving into squat taps, just alternating each foot, bringing that hand out, adding more velocity here as you're speeding up, but keeping stability as you're dropping deep into that squat and bouncing right back up. Bring it out, coming into marches, alternating each leg, bringing that knee up towards the hips. Hands can stay at the hips. These ankle weights are adding a little bit more of a challenge, giving that contraction here to the glutes. You can press down the hands as you're adding more of a full body challenge, still keeping your core steady throughout the entire range of motion. Moving on to a single leg curtsy lunge, stepping one foot back, bringing both knees to 90 degrees. Notice that you have that curtsy, that cross with the feet, keeping the hips hinged, bringing the hands to prayer. That movement with the upper body is just adding more endurance here for this strength challenge. Shaking it out, switching legs, dropping those knees back to 90 degrees, bringing those hands to prayer, keeping precision as you're dropping your chest, hinging at the hips, engaging the outer glutes. squats, bringing those feet out to 3 and 9 o'clock. Dropping the hips as you're coming into that sinking position, into that plie squat. The hands come out long as you're reaching forward, giving that full body challenge. Nice work, friends. Moving on, you have a side lunge, dropping the hips, bending at the knee on one side, hands coming back to prayer, keeping steady the entire time, making sure that your core is locked in as you're embracing your outer glutes here in this side lunge. Hands coming out if you wish, giving additional challenge. Again, building up towards more endurance with these slight tweaks. Wonderful. Quick transition to the other side. Deep hinge, dropping the chest, bending at the knees, hips drop and hands come to prayer. You can bring those hands back out. Whatever it gives you that additional challenge that suits you for this workout today. Nice hustle. Moving on to grab your heavy weights. 15 pounds I have for me, each dumbbell, bringing them to the shoulders. Feet are coming out as you're hinging at the hips, moving into a heavy squat, keeping it slow and in control, driving through the heels, hinging at the hips, embracing the core, squeezing the glutes on your way up. Moving on, dropping one weight as you go into reverse lunges. You're stepping one foot back, 90 degrees each side, adding a rotation, twisting to that working leg. In this case, it's that front leg that is anchoring you down. So keeping heavy weight in that heel as you're rotating at the torso, working the obliques and center glutes. Nice work. Switching to the opposite leg. Same motion, stepping that foot back, rotating at the torso, keeping it slow and in control. Your eye gaze follows you as you twist and come back into that full range of motion. Beautiful, nice hustle. So moving it down to the mat, you're bringing both dumbbells to your hip bones as you move into your weighted glute bridges, pressing through the heels as you drive up the hips, keeping those dumbbells firmly placed. Option to go weightless, maintaining control as you're bringing the spine up and slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Rising back up, taking your time, all right? We're gonna do a little skip hop. Put the weights back at the shoulders. Here it is. Heavy squat, round 2. Dropping the hips, keeping those dumbbells firmly placed at the shoulders. Option to go weightless to focus on form. Bringing those hips all the way down towards the mat. Bend at the knee and create the most control possible with the core to reinforce you here as you're back into the glutes. Yeah, you did it, friends. Let's go. Moving back into that reverse lunge. One weight is here, mine is 15 pounds. Option to go weightless. Stepping one leg back 90 degrees, rotating. This time adding a reach up, working the shoulders. Eye gaze follows you as you're moving through each rep. Heavy weight is in that front heel as you're pressing through to rise back up. Great job. Moving on to alternate to the other leg. Same motion, dropping the knees 90 degrees, reaching up with that dumbbell, keeping that rotation as you're going into that reach. And placing that opposite foot back up. Slow drops. Nice work. Be proud of what you committed to. You're still here. Grabbing those dumbbells, rolling back into the mat. Glute bridge, round 2. Both dumbbells on the hip bone. Driving the hips up, squeezing through the glutes, and then slowly coming back to that rolling position. Great work. Coming back into that plank, shoulders in line with the wrists, hips are lifted. You're going into a down dog, maneuvering over side plank. Back into that plank position, down dog. Plank again, side plank. Keeping it slow and in control, working the core and obliques, but it's really full body activation here to execute. So, keeping a smile, going through one rep at a time. Pause after that hard work, moving into side kneeling leg lifts. You have your knee firmly placed in line with the hip, Your wrist is under the shoulder. Right here on this side, you're lifting the leg all the way up in line with the hips, then slowly coming down back to the mat. Moving down to a sideline position, you're sweeping the leg forward, coming back to a neutral position, then bringing that leg back up. Full control as it's taking all of that body weight to take these moves to the next level, right? So the weights are optional on the ankle. If you're at the body weight, that's perfect. You're testing yourself to see what that range of motion looks like for you. Keeping control in the core, preventing yourself from rocking by heavily anchoring yourself into your elbow without causing strain in the shoulder. Shake it out. Moving on to the other side. That lift comes into activation. So you're bringing that foot all the way up, anchored in by that knee, shoulder in line with the wrist, core is engaged. Slowly bringing that foot up and then back to the mat. Down to your sideline position, anchoring through the elbow and that bottom glute here at the mat. But all of that work is coming through this leg, moving into a sweep in line with the hips and that opposite leg, and slowly lifting up, keeping control the entire time. As you lie down on the mat, your lower back is pressed in. Optional, keep the shoulder blades up. Feet are all the way up as you move into TikToks, bringing those feet down as they're pressed together, moving to the side. Same action, lower and lift. Back center, lower and lift. And then repeat on that far side. So each angle to the right, center, and to the left is a double leg lift. Small range of motion, focus on stability and control. Last exercise here on deck, your double leg stretch. So as you come into a ball, you're lifting the hands up, legs extend, bringing them back. And this modified version just requires you to press down as you're bringing those arms down and those legs in. Embracing the core, keeping the shoulder blades lifted if you can for these last few moments of how you end your work, y'all. All smiles because you made it through 20 minutes of joy. Nice work, friends. Moving into a straddle stretch. So legs come out wide. Adjust yourself if needed. That was a wild ride. You're bringing your hands all the way out forward, rotating out the ankles. Breathing through. One hand comes inside the foot, the other hand meets it as you're stretched out to one side. Coming back to the opposite side. Same deal. Rotating the spine out, center, rotating the other side. Wrist and ankles are loose, y'all. Nice. So you're coming into a crisscross as you end your work for today. Hands can come out to the knees as you're breathing in. Deep inhale, thanking yourself for showing up today, giving your optimal best, and taking strength with you wherever you go today. It's been real, y'all. See y'all next time.